Hi, in this video I'm going to go over how to do a free background check in Oklahoma. To get started, go to oklahomapublicrecords.com. I'll have a link in the description. You can click on that or just type it into your browser. On the home page you will find multiple databases. These are public record databases available in Oklahoma. And a lot of these can be used when it comes to background checking. And so that's what this video is going to be about. It'll be about free resources that everyday individuals can use to do a background check. So just very general stuff, everyday life situations. And I'm going to show you how to use the public records database here on the home page, and then I'm going to get to how to do a free criminal records check. So let's take, for example, let's do this. Let's say you have a big remodeling project that you're trying to do in your house, and you're about to put a good amount of money into it, and you're hiring a contractor. What you can do is you can actually verify the contractor. You could verify his license, for instance, and so you could look him up by name or his business name and make sure he's got a license that's appropriate for whatever job he's doing. You know, you could make sure everything is paid on time. You can see how long he's had it for, things like that. Make sure everything is legit. Another thing you can do is you can do a business records search. This is kind of different from checking somebody's licensing information. This is just an individual that registers a business like an LLC or a corporation. And what you can do is you can make sure everything is paid for, how long the business has been around, make sure everything is legit, everything matches up. And there are various things that you might want to look into. Like some of these pages are quite detailed, and there could be some information useful in making a decision. Another thing to consider are going to be court records. And so particularly you might want to research something like civil records, maybe financial types of lawsuits that are related to the construction industry. Maybe a prior customer or a vendor within the business within business dealings filed a lawsuit for whatever reason. So some of this information might be useful in determining, do I necessarily want to hand over a large sum of money to this individual and invite him over into my house to do this construction project for me? So you have multiple databases you can utilize to help you make smarter decisions and figure out who the legit people are that you want to work with. So that's just one example. And there are multiple things that you can do with these databases when it comes to background checking. But the biggest one when it comes to background checks are going to be criminal records. I would say that's probably the most sought after record when it comes to background checks. So let's go over the process of how a criminal record is created and how we can find that information for free. So hover over other records and select inmate search. And once you're on this page, you will notice there is the most populous counties in Oklahoma. And these are local sheriff's departments, jail databases, so arrest databases. And that's how pretty much all the criminal records start. A police officer arrests an individual, charges him with a crime, brings him in books him into a jail, his picture gets taken, fingerprints get taken, and then they either get bailed out, sometimes released, sometimes they'll actually have to sit in jail and wait until they see a judge. But there is an arrest record created, and so you have an opportunity to, at times, I don't have a specific name here, not every single time, not every single sheriff's department will provide a database like this. Sometimes you will, if you want the arrest information, you'll actually have to request it, maybe with a form manually or like through email or fax. But a lot of them are coming online where you can actually look this information up using an online system. Like as an example, this sheriff's department is actually doing a pretty good job here. Looks like you get a mugshot, some personal information, arrest information, and then the offenses during the arrest. So this doesn't necessarily mean this person is guilty. They still have to see a judge. But it is the beginning of a criminal record, so it all starts at the arrest level. Next, they have to go see a judge and that now we need to hover over other records again and select court records. So we're moving on from arrests. And so now they see a judge, and anytime somebody sees a judge, a court document is created. Court records are considered public information most of the time. Sometimes if a case is ongoing, maybe it's sensitive, they might not necessarily release that type of information. They might hold on to it until the case has been settled. But in general, you can research this information using court records, and you have a couple of options in the state of Oklahoma here. You got the district court, municipal court. These are going to be your two main courts, and you actually have two centralized systems that you can use to research this information. Here's one, and there's the other one. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this one going here. You can select, actually, if you wanted to, you can even select the types of cases you're looking for. If you don't want to look at every single, there's so many different types of court cases out there. Maybe you just want to look at felonies. You got quite a few criminal type cases that you can research. I'm just going to go ahead and select the higher level criminal offenses here, and you just click go. No payment needed, no credit card needed. It just goes. You have another option. This is the second option here. Again, you can search individual courts or just search all courts. You can also select here if you want just the criminal information. And there's going to be probably quite a few. I should have filtered this down a little bit. So as you can see, you got quite a few cases here to look at. And so these are pretty detailed pages. You have the offense here, you have the court fees, things like that. Let me try another one here. Yeah, so you got your identifying information here, you got your dates, you got the amount owed, why they're there, and then of course the calendar of events, receipts. There's lots of information. One thing to consider is this does give you the free option here, but if you wanted more like advanced tools, they do have it for $5 a month. So it just depends, like, how deep you want to research, but they do open up some other options if you want to go with the paid route. But you can do there is a regular free search, same as the second network here. It finally here showed up, very similar. Maybe the layout is a little different, but as you can see, I'm researching information absolutely free here. So you have your courts, so arrests, courts, and then of course a person is either found guilty or not guilty. After that happens, they might just pay a fine, and sometimes they have to do some time. If they're going to be serving over 12 months, they will have to typically go to a prison. If it's just a few months, under 12 months, they're probably going to stay at the county in the local jail. So you can again use the local jail to find those individuals. Or if it's a more severe crime and they're getting more time, you'd have to check the Oklahoma Department of Corrections database. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. Looks like I got to jump through some hoops here. And as you can see, you have a photo, you have your identifying information here, you have your sentences, and they actually show you, like, it's almost like a timeline here. As you can see, there was something in 95, 2001, 2004, 2006. So if they're in and out, you're actually able to see that record there. So again, I did not have to pay for anything. This is a free database you can use. Also, don't forget to check the sex offender registry. When it comes to criminal records, it's also an important database to use, and you're able to research this information also free of charge in the state of Oklahoma. And with that, I also wanted to bring up the fact that you do have some paid tools. And maybe you can use this one in addition to all the resources that I have just shown you. This is the name search box on top, and what it does is it pulls records from it's not just criminal records, it's public, all sorts of public records, court records, real estate records, financial records, things like bankruptcies, lawsuits. You have arrest, criminal information. You have some private databases like cell phone records, previous addresses, things like that. But it doesn't just pull records from the state of Oklahoma. It pulls records from multiple states, so it gives you like a nationwide look into someone's background. And all of these databases are compiled into a single search system, so it's almost instantaneous. Like, you can quickly figure out if they got what you're looking for. It's almost instantaneous. Why it's great to also have more of that nationwide look into someone's background? Well, maybe they're living in Oklahoma now, but let's say they had a criminal past like in Ohio or maybe South Carolina. And if you're just checking Oklahoma county records or statewide records, you're not necessarily going to see what happened in Ohio or South Carolina. So it's a great tool to kind of get that nationwide look into someone's historic past, whether it's criminal records, court records, or just public information, and even some private database information. So with that said, come on down to oklahomapublicrecords.com and get started on your free background check in the state of Oklahoma. Thank you.